What's your favorite snack? I know for certain that mine is goldfish. Goldfish is something that has always been a part of my life. For as long as I can remember, there's been a gallon box of goldfish on my nightstand. It might have to do with the fact that my dog shows me 10 times more love and affection whenever I have goldfish in my hand, which is weird, right? A dog that loves food? Never heard of it. Or maybe it has to do with the fact that I've always wanted to go to space. And fun fact, goldfish boarded the Space Shuttle Discovery in 1988 and blasted off into space. Or maybe it has to do with the fact that the first ingredient is smiles. It stays next to my bed because I take a lot of hard classes which require a lot of work. And I have the worst time management skills. So I'm up at around midnight trying to complete my assignments every single night. It's awful. I do not recommend doing it. But I tend to get hungry. Procrastination takes a lot out of me. I mean, the amount of energy it takes, I would consider myself a pro. But every single night I am falling asleep at my computer, trying to complete my assignments with one hand, while the other is just scooping out goldfish from the container. The worst part about it is I'm not even hungry half the time. My hand has just gotten used to that motion. But every night I regret the decisions I made earlier in the day to push my homework off even further. I get so caught up in that mentality that it takes me even longer to complete my assignments. How many of you have ever been there? I waste so much time and energy regretting the decisions that I made in the past that I get stuck in a constant cycle of regret and procrastination. I didn't do it earlier, and that's when I begin to stress. I get so caught up thinking about the decisions I made in the past that I forget about my assignments completely. And I'm not alone. Procrastination has increased in the past years and is continuing to increase, with 88% of the world admitting to doing it. The box of goldfish that sits on my nightstand reminds me that while everything is temporary, there is still time for me to complete anything. When the box runs out, I go to the store to get more. When I run out, I sleep and recharge. The box reminds me that I've been in situations like this many times before. And most of the time, I do things successfully. And other times I don't, but nobody is perfect. As humans, we face a lot of pressure and stress, two things that most of us don't know how to handle. But the box has taught me that we always have to be patient and we always have to treat ourselves with kindness. The small snack is my biggest supporter. It's there when I'm happy, excited, nervous, afraid, and even amazed. Sometimes it's the snack that smiles back, while other times it reminds me to smile, and I'm the one smiling back. Goldfish reminds me to keep pushing through life. Whether it's a necklace, blanket, stuffed animal, or family heirloom, or really any object, we all need something that we keep fighting for. I want you to think about what this is for you. And if you don't have one, find it. As the average teenager, I spent a lot of my limited time on my phone. Usually I'm communicating with friends or family, or I'm scrolling through hours of social media. And while the internet can be a time suck in many ways, not only bad things come out of it. One of my favorite websites is hbs1963.com. It's a website that my sister introduced to me. It was created in the celebration of the 50th anniversary of Harvard Business School class of 1963. The website itself is filled with quotes of advice and wisdom from the graduates. While there are many categories on the website, the piece of advice that stuck out to me the most was, embrace humility and learn from your mistakes, but do not let them consume you with the paralysis of indecision or the depression of regret. Even the brightest and most successful people in this world, those who have it all, tend to get caught up in the past. By doing so, it consumes you. It takes control over your brain, and every decision you make afterwards is influenced by the humiliation and the bad experiences you had. In life, we have to recognize the parts of it that we don't like and that we're not proud of, like a box of goldfish. If you were to try out a new flavor like pizza, for example, you have to recognize that it is worse than cheddar, because it is. It is much worse than cheddar. But you also have to recognize why. But you cannot dwell on that. I'm very busy, whether it's playing sports or doing work, but I always make sure that I have time to spend with my family, whether it's watching a movie or playing a board game. We all face stress in life, but we must not let that affect how we treat others. It is important to show our loved ones how much they mean to us, even if the timing is inconvenient for us. I am temporary. I know I will not live forever, but what I don't know is how much time I have left. One day will be the last time you tie your cleats, or the last time you handed a math test, or even the last time you go on vacation. Everything is temporary, and we won't know how much any of those actions mean until they're gone. As I eat the pieces of goldfish, I can feel the weight of the box decrease, but I don't know how many pieces are left. We have to give everything our all when we're in the moment, because one day we won't have anything to give our everything to. The future does not belong to us. No one really knows when the last time they will do anything will be, so why do we act as if we do? A minute is a very quick period of time that can either feel exceptionally long or relatively short. It all depends on the situation you're in. If you have ever been in a plank, I would first like to say I am sorry. But a plank goes by so slowly. You're shaking and you look over at your phone thinking that 55 seconds have passed when only 8 have. Or you could be with your friends, having the time of your life, laughing to the point where tears are rolling down your cheeks, and time will fly by. So why is that? It is due to a neurotransmitter in the brain involving the chemical dopamine. Dopamine is a very important chemical involved in feeling rewarded. It also affects how our brain perceives time. When we're having a lot of fun and our brain is moving very quickly, we release a lot more dopamine, making it seem as though less time has passed than actually has. When we're bored and sluggish and moving very slowly, our brain will release less dopamine, and it'll feel as though more time has passed than actually has. Whenever I'm in a class that I've never felt an attraction to, time crawls. I'm sitting there miserable because it seems as though the clock is never changing. But as I sit in English, the 45 minutes fly by. In English, I'm surrounded by completely different people who all have their own personalities. But that's what makes it fun. Our differences are what keep things engaging. In a society where you have the exact same routine every single day, what makes it interesting? What makes us want to live? What reminds you to smile back and make the most out of our lives while we are here? Not every box of goldfish I've ever had has been baked to perfection with every single piece smiling back at me. The boxes that have that don't exist. They're too good to be true. But the best box of goldfish I've ever had, I went through in one day. And in case you didn't know, that is 28 servings with 55 pieces in each serving. Definitely not one of my finest moments. But I've also had boxes of goldfish that went old and they were stale, so I threw them out. So in my opinion, it evens out. We all have regrets in this world, but we cannot let that consume us. We must use the tools, skills, and knowledge that we have gained to keep pushing through life. As Dory once said, just keep swimming. It might feel as though you are lost and you have no idea where life is taking you, but just let life guide you. You have to move forward even if you take it slowly. Go ahead even if no one goes with you. Now, you may be wondering how a 16-year-old came up with all of these philosophical ideas. Well, it was the last day of vacation. My dad, my sister, and I decided that we wanted to watch the sunrise on top of a 10,009-foot volcano, Haleakala, in Maui, Hawaii. As we watched the sunrise, we were all eating goldfish from the gallon container. One of the prettiest sights that I've ever seen lasted only minutes. I am not here forever. My time is limited, and I'm fully aware of that, but I'm determined to make the most out of my time while I am here. The day I realized I wasted years of my life was my realization, and while it wasn't easy for me to accept in the moment, it completely changed the way I view myself and the way I present myself to the world. I hope one day everyone has their realization so that when they look back on their life, there is nothing that they would have done differently. I hope you have your realization so that you can live your life to the fullest. A small snack can have such a large impact on an individual as you have seen through me. It may be the snack that smiles back, but sometimes it reminds me to smile, and I'm the one smiling back. It reminds me that our lives are temporary and to live my life to the fullest while I'm still here. I want you to find something bigger. because the reward that comes with it will be monumental. Find something that you could live without but would never wish to, and figure out why. What is your safety blanket? What is the real reason that you want to keep that object in your life? What might it teach you about your life? Redefine the way you are living, because once you realize that everything is temporary and not perfect, including us, you'll begin to live. Thank you.